Welcome back to STEM Identity. I'm your host, Dr. Anna Hodshire, and I have a PhD in atmospheric chemistry. I do not have a PhD in having fun. But like most things in life that are probably worth doing, you gotta first acknowledge, hey, maybe I'm not the best at the thing, in this case, fun. And then you contemplate, do I care about having more fun? Yeah, I would like to have more fun. And then you work at it and you acknowledge when you fail and you acknowledge when you're growing and you keep making progress. For those of you OGs who are listening on the day that I post this episode, it's actually no coincidence that I'm posting on Mardi Gras of 2026, which I'm told by people in the know is a very fun event. I've never been to a Mardi Gras event for fun, quote unquote, but I have been to Mardi Gras events to play shows back when I was in bands. And I had a blast, and it was a very structured thing for me. Because I'm like, okay, I have, my set list. I need to show up at this time. I'm playing until this time. And that structure in a sort of chaotic, loud, noisy environment made me feel very comfortable, allowed me to have fun in a situation that personally I otherwise might have been a little overwhelmed in. So, is redefining fun for what fun means to you a part of this podcast? Could be. Take a listen. Let's find out. Let's talk about having fun at work. Okay, crew, let's be honest. When was the last time you had fun at work? Was it today or yesterday, or maybe you're listening to this on the weekend? So was it Friday? Was it sometime last week? Was it sometime last month? Was it sometime last year? Can you not really remember because maybe you're to that point in your career where your career feels like it's meetings and emails and achievements and projects and reports, and none of this really feels that fun to you? So I'll be honest, I thought about this before I hit record. When was the last time I had fun at work? I'm recording this on a Sunday, and my so-called day job is, traditional Monday through Friday-ish type of position. So I thought back to Friday. It took me a couple of minutes to even remember what I did on Friday, but then I remembered Friday morning I had a meeting. It was supposed to be an hour, stretched to 2 hours, and it was on class prep for a course I'll be co-teaching this semester. So this will be a course that already exists, and my co-teacher has taught it for several years. He rocks it, and he's very generously allowing me to step in, add some material, take over some lectures, help revamp it. So in the future, I can teach the class. And you know what? The meeting was really fun. Not every second of it was fun. At moments, I was kind of like in my head, a little self-conscious because I feel like I didn't really know how to best add to the conversation. But at other moments, we were both in flow, we were vibing, we were talking. He knows a whole lot about the history of systems engineering, which is the department I'm in. So he would get off on these, not exactly tangents, but conversations talking about these pieces because it was relevant to the class. And it was actually a lot of fun. So I had fun the last day that I went to my traditional full-time job. And you know why I could find that fun? Because I am actively noting activities that are fun for me at work. Why am I actively noting activities that are fun for me at work? Well, if you've ever met me or seen a picture of me, you'll notice that I really look like a traditional WASP. And if you're not familiar with that super fun acronym, that stands for White Anglo-Saxon Protestant, which is basically white British person, right? So, my ancestry is some sort of UK mutt, who knows what, English, Welsh, Scottish, something. And I'm pretty sure that my people were just good white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, pretty much all down the line. Now, I'm not a Protestant myself, but I think I've done a pretty good job in my life up until this time. Here we are, time of recording. I'm 34. I've done a really good job just embodying that Protestant work ethic, right? The Protestants are not a people that are really known for their fun loving. I frankly cannot think of a single activity that is known to be Protestant and fun. I can think of work, I can think of going to church, I can think of fearing hell, all those cool things. But I feel like for most of my people, Fun was something to be earned, and to be only done kind of subtly. So maybe, end of the week, Sunday is a rest day, you go to church, whatever. And you don't do too much. Fun should not be exorbitant. Fun should not be flashy, right? The Protestants are not exactly flashy people either. And if I look at how I was raised, I can really see this in even my immediate family. So my family is really, really small. I don't have a lot of cousins. I have one brother, one half sister, who was much older than I am, so I didn't grow up with her. And my parents, well, my mom actually does a pretty good job embodying fun, and she actually has a ton of fun in her life, as far as I can tell, which is awesome. But she was the safe parent. My father was the unsafe parent, and he was very much work is the only thing worthwhile kind of attitude person. And so, of course, as a child, I felt that the safest thing to do was to imitate the unsafe parent there, or to please the unsafe parent. So yeah, work became the most important thing. Rest was something to be earned. Having fun was not something to be coupled with work. That's ridiculous. Who does that? That kind of thing. So I'm coming to you with this conversation not because I am the queen captain of the fun train, but because I am actively working towards finding fun in everything I do, especially my work. I'm recording this in January, but regardless of when you're listening to this, for me, my year, I am looking forward to the end of this year, 2026, and looking back and thinking, wow, this is the year where I fell the most in love with my job. I had the most fun. I did things that lit me up. And you can also have that year. It doesn't matter if you're listening to this in March, June, September, December. You can start right now looking for more fun in your work. And maybe you're like, hey, I actually do have a fair amount of fun in my job. Let's say, I don't know, whatever you really like to do in your work. Maybe it's field work, maybe it's writing, maybe it's coding. Okay, we'll step back. How much of your time do you actually get to do spending those things that you think are fun? How much time of your year do you get to do field work if that's what lights you up? Let's say that it's a couple weeks a year. You get to go out in the field, you get to do your field work, and then the rest of the time you're analyzing data, you're prepping, fixing instruments, whatever it is that you happen to do for your job. So does that mean that for 2 weeks of the year you're having fun and for the other 50 weeks of the year you're not? That doesn't sound great. No, let's change that attitude. Like, why can't we have fun literally every single freaking day in our work? And I'm bringing this conversation to you right now because I've been really blessed to have a couple of really helpful conversations recently. One was an awesome conversation I had with my somatic coach, Tammy Schweber, who I'm going to have as a guest on pretty soon here. So excited. She's amazing. If you have no idea what the word somatic means, no worries. I didn't know either a year and a half ago. I still can't describe it well. She's going to describe it to you. But we talked about, what is fun. And then I am doing a group training with Kathy Heller, who is one of my mentors. I'm in a couple of her programs, and she had a session on fun. And I was like, well, shit. I was already thinking about doing this episode, and I guess it's my sign that I need to talk to you about how to have fun. And why do we even need to have fun at work, right? Like, I don't know. We have deadlines and things that are due, so that gets productivity rolling, right? I think that's actually kind of the problem, right? Many of us achieve productivity because we have goals, we have deadlines, and all of those goals and deadlines set us up for something that I love being referred to as I'll be happy when, right? We all have I'll be happy when syndrome. We might not realize it, but we all have it. I'll be happy when the report is in. I'll be happy when I get this grant. I'll be happy when the project is done. I'll be happy when my summer vacation starts. Hell, let's take it to our personal life. I'll be happy when I find my special someone. I'll be happy when I have my first child. I'll be happy when we get engaged. I'll be happy when he gets his dream job so that we are making, X amount of dollars in our household, whatever it is. I'll be happy when I reach my new PR on the weight bench. I'll be happy when I run a 6 minute mile. I'll be happy when, I'll be happy when, I'll be happy when. The opposite of fun is I'll be happy when. When you're constantly focused on some future tangible thing or maybe intangible thing, you're using up all that bandwidth that you could have been using to have fun right now. Why can't you be happy right now? I'll be happy when? How about I'll be happy now? So why do we need to have fun at work? You've probably heard of those workplaces that give their employees explicit time, like maybe half a Friday or whatever, for free creating with the goal of bringing in a little more fun, bring a little more creativity, or the workplaces that have, fun play centers basically set up for their adults, ping pong tables, whatever it might be. And studies have shown that that can lead to more creativity. And in fact, really, the most creative you are is also when you're having the most fun. Fun frees up resources. Fun frees up the parts of your brain that are telling you you're not good enough, you don't know what you're doing. Fun shuts all of that off and just lets you do and lets you be creative. So we need to have fun at work because we're scientists, we're engineers, we're mathematicians, and all of these things require creativity to succeed in. We need to have fun. But what is fun? Okay, so this is where I actually started with my fun journey, which was I was like, well, I'm not having fun at work because fun is defined in the following ways. Fun is whitewater kayaking. Fun is skiing as fast as you can down a double black diamond slope. Fun is hiking for 20 miles and then camping under the stars and then hiking back. Right. I live in Colorado, so admittedly, a lot of my definitions of fun are maybe a little biased towards the extreme. Now, you might have noticed in the tone of my voice, I was not lit up when I was listing out those activities. I was like, fun is whitewater kayaking. Whoa. Yeah, I don't think those things are fun for me. I'm so excited that there are people out there who are like, yes, I love to whitewater kayak, but you know what? I nearly drowned in a river once. I'm good on whitewater kayaking. I never fucking want to do that because it terrifies me. I don't want to go blasting down a ski hill as fast as I can. I want to hit the greens and I want to cruise and I want to have a nice day and I want to be injury free and in one piece by the end of my ski day if I actually even go to a resort. I usually cross country ski. I love it. So I realized that first off, fun were all of these things that were outside of work. Secondly, fun were all of these things that I didn't even think was fun. So I had to completely just go, all right, halt, start, reset, need a new program for fun. So what were things that were fun to me? I was like, well, I like reading fun fiction, lighthearted fiction, mysteries, fantasy. Those things are fun for me. I like hanging out with my pets. That's fun for me. I started coming up with this whole list of fun, and it helped me realize that I can define fun any way I want, right? I don't have to have fun be this societal thing that it's like, well, if I'm not doing something extreme, I'm not doing something that, really pushes me to my edge, gets my heart pounding, then that's what fun is. No, that doesn't need to be what fun is for me. That's fun for some people. It's not fun for me. Fun is what I want. So fun is what you want. What do you actually think is fun? Not do what do you feel like you are supposed to think is fun? Maybe, you grew up in a family of extroverts, and so the model of fun for you was fun is group settings, fun is going somewhere with all your friends, fun is, doing these big extravagant things, and maybe that really stresses you out. Okay, that's not your definition of fun. Or maybe you love big group settings and big group things, and that's awesome, and that is your definition of fun. But it's okay that your definition of fun doesn't look like your brother's, it doesn't look like your mother's, it doesn't look like your father's, it doesn't look like your best friend's. It looks like what you think it is. So that's my first challenge to you is to take a little time, hell, hit pause, come back, whatever you need to do, and think about what's actually fun to you. What lights you up? And I'm asking you to do this because I strongly believe that we can essentially placebo affect ourselves into having more fun. I love the placebo effect. I think it's the most fascinating thing about being a human. And apparently, there are studies out there that other species, like rats, indicate some placebo effects. I was hearing some stuff on rats and receiving sugar water spiked with a medication that was an immunosuppressant. And even after the immunosuppressant was removed, the rats would still react as if the immunosuppressant was in the sugar water and have the same symptoms. Like they wouldn't want to drink the sugar water because they knew it made them sick. But if they were force fed the sugar water anyways, even without the immunosuppressant drug in it, they would start to have those physiological responses, which is wild, right? The placebo effect is wild. The research is so cool. I'm totally going to do a full episode on it, maybe multiple. I'm hoping to get placebo effect researchers on the podcast. That would be amazing. But for the purposes of today, what do I mean when I say I believe that you can placebo affect yourself into having more fun? Well, if we're looking for fun, that means we'll start seeing more fun, right? I brought up before the reticular activating system, or the RAS, right? That's your brain's filter that is essentially selecting out what you're paying attention to. So let's say that your car is about to die and you've decided that you're going to go ahead and get a green Subaru Crosstrek as your next car, and you're super excited about it, and you're driving around, and all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, I didn't realize how many Crosstreks were on the road. I didn't realize how many green cars were on the road. There's a green Subaru Crosstrek. This is amazing. I'm seeing all the things that I'm excited about. That's your reticular activating system because you've primed it to say, hey, I'm interested in a green Subaru Crosstrek. It's now like, boom, Subaru, boom, Crosstrek, boom, green. I got you, man. They're everywhere. Same thing for fun, right? We're looking for fun. Our reticular activating system is primed, it's tuned in, it's ready to start believing that we can have more fun. And so that's what I have started doing in my day, and I really encourage you to start doing in your day, is at the beginning of the day, I have a piece of paper that I write out my schedule. I write out what I want to get done on the day. I have a little section for emails because I try to batch my emails, right? I try to send and check emails in the morning, and I try to send and check emails in the afternoon. So if I think, sometime between those two times, oh, I need to email so and so, instead of hopping over to email and then getting lost in the morasses of my email inbox, I just write down on that piece of paper, hey, email so and so about whatever I need to email. So at the bottom of that piece of paper, I have a little section that says alive. Now, it's not fun, but it's a part of that because really what I'm trying to do for this year, what I really want for the end of my year, end of 2026, is to look back and think, not only did I have the most fun I've ever had at work, but I felt the most alive. And I chose the word alive, and alive is my year of the word. Year of the word? No, good grief. Alive is my word of the year. There we go. A little mild verbal dyslexia. Um, the reason why I chose that is because for me, alive encompasses both fun, but it also encompasses other feelings that I want to feel at work all of the time, every single day. I want to feel awe. To me, feeling awe is a very alive feeling. And I feel awe very easily when I go outside. It's very easy to look around for me and find something in nature that is just like, whoa, that's amazing. Look at that cloud. Look at that tree. Look at that tree without its leaves. I didn't know it had so many branches. Crazy. Awe is a little bit harder for me to feel at work. And one way I can feel a little bit of awe at work is to perhaps look at some research that is a little bit outside of my field or completely outside of my field. And I think, whoa, I didn't know that. That's amazing. That's so cool about the world. And I feel like it's all relevant because I'm in systems engineering, where really I feel like systems engineering is this beautiful combination of everything that already exists and building systems and frameworks out of it. So the more I learn about the world around me and scientists and engineering discoveries around me, the better systems engineer I become and the more full of awe I become. Another part of being alive for me is joy. I am not a person who is just filled with joy naturally, so this is something I'm working on. Like, what brings me joy? Maybe it's a quick break to hang out with a kitten. Maybe it's a quick break to dance to a song I love. Things that bring me joy, right? And finding that in my work. So I have this section on my paper that says alive, and I try to check in and say, "Hey, Anna, did you just feel alive in that thing you were doing? You did? Awesome. Write it down." My goal, very simple goal, is to write at least one thing every single workday on that piece of paper. When did I feel alive? And maybe I don't catch it in the moment. And so I have to do it retroactively, say at the end of the day when I'm reviewing and I'm prepping for my next day. That's okay. The more I can catch it in the moment, the more I'm training myself. I'm having fun right now. I'm not being happy when, I'm being happy now. I'm looking for fun. My reticular activating system says, yes, I'm looking for that fun. I'll find you that fun. We're on it, Captain. Boom. I found fun. And if this is all feeling a little like, I don't know, silly, uncomfortable, you're like, why am I still even listening to this episode? This isn't really my jam. There could be some reasons for that. There could be some internal stuff that's making you be like, no, fun is not. Or I have plenty of fun. Thank you very much. Don't tell me how to live my life. Remember how I started off this episode by talking about how I look like a WASP, a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, and how Protestants aren't really known for fun. They're known for, strong models of work before play. Yeah, fun is subversive. The vast majority of cultures out there, hmm, I shouldn't say that. I don't know that for sure. I know my culture and I'm familiar with a handful of other cultures. And all of these cultures that I am closely familiar with appear to have at some point in time, and I don't know if it's been recently or forever or whatever, but they appear to have adopted an attitude of work before play, and that play is silly and frivolous and really should only be done kind of, behind closed doors, not outwardly, and after you've done all of your work. So you may have those strong models of work before play, whether you realize it or not. You might be going, oh, this sounds so silly. I do plenty in my job. I get what I need to get done. Work is not for play. Yeah, well, were your parents like that? Were your grandparents like that? Were your ancestry like that? Were the people you looked up to in your life like that? Were the people you still look up to in your life kind of like that, where they're like, they don't really seem to have that much fun. They're just really productive. They're getting a lot of stuff done. I mean, you can be crazy productive and have zero creativity. Look at AI. AI can do so much. It can do so many things that a human being cannot. And yet, is AI particularly creative? Can AI make extensions? I saw a study, and I will try to find it and link it in the show notes, that was basically evaluating, I shared it on my Instagram, but again, I'll try to find it and share it. Is essentially evaluating, can AI write a research paper? And they looked at least one large language model, but they probably looked at multiple. And I apologize, I haven't actually read it. I just read through the like 8-page Instagram summary, which was a good summary, but obviously not as good as reading the paper. But essentially, the takeaway was AI was perfectly fine at sort of the setup stuff, but the second it came to the actual essence of science, which is considering your hypothesis against the data and then being like, well, my hypothesis doesn't work. The data is showing me this. I need to go in this direction. Showing that creativity, AI could not handle that. So AI can crank out as many papers as it wants, but it's not necessarily being creative at all, right? That is our master ability, our beautiful creativity. And our creativity comes through that relaxation, that fun, that play, that excitement. It doesn't come through, oh, look, I did all these things on my to-do list. Cool, great. And we might have tiny little sparks of creativity. And I know that for me in the past, that's how I've gotten by, right? I have this long to-do list. Maybe it's, okay, go write this proposal. And I get kind of in the flow with that proposal at some point, and I'm in the flow enough that I'm sort of, I'm completely forgotten about the rest of the to-do list. I've forgotten about the other stuff around me. I'm in the flow. I'm having fun, even though, hey, maybe on the outside, writing that proposal was not on Anna's top list of things that the external world told her was fun. It was fun in the moment, and I had a little spark of creativity and went, oh, yeah, what if we did that thing? I bet that would be good. And boom. And yeah, so we all have those tiny little sparks of creativity, right? You have gotten to where you are because you have those tiny little moments. But why do they need to be tiny? Why do they need to be periodic? Why do they need to be once in a while? Why not experiment with the more fun, the more creative, the more creative, the more fun? Try it. Evaluate. If you're the type of person who freaking loves tracking all your metrics, awesome. Have a spreadsheet. Make a mark every time you have fun. Somehow track this, make a mark every time you're creative. Somehow track this, start looking at the data. If that does not light you up, don't do that, right? I'm giving you options. I'm a little bit of a quantitative qualitative person, right? I like a little bit of data, I like a little bit of feeling. I like combining the two. I'm not necessarily going to take massive stats on, how much my creativity rose as I had more fun. But I'm going to do emotional check-ins. I'm going to do self-check-ins, and I am going to track to some limited extent the data around, hey, how much fun am I having? How much creativity am I having? So fun is subversive, and I'm here to just go ahead and say, hey, let's do it. Why not? What if you're the first generation who breaks the habit of work before play? What if you're the first generation who shows up to work every day and says, I'm here to play and make money, right? And, maybe that sounds silly, but there's a lot of very deserved praise and attention put towards certain first generation things like first generation students, and all of this is amazing. But we're all here to be the first generation on something. And I can guarantee you, you've already been the first generation on something, right? Maybe you are the first generation in your entire family lineage to get the particular degree you have or to take the particular job you have. So why not keep pushing that envelope? Why not keep pushing how far you can go? Because whether you're going to have children or you have nieces and nephews or you just have younger mentors around you, you can pass on what you're doing to break all of those boundaries around your generation onto that next generation. Say, hey, look at all the things that you can do because I did them too. And it's safe because I did them. I mentioned at the beginning that I was able to sit in a group training with Kathy Heller, who was one of my mentors. I don't work with her one-on-one, but I'm in a few of her programs. And she had this class on fun. It was a great class. And the thing that she said that I hated the absolute most, I hated it with every inch of my being when I heard it, was have fun before work. And I was like, what the hell? That's horrible. Okay, that's all of my ancestry. Like literally everyone raising out of their grave and being like, abso-fucking-lutely not. You need to work before you deserve that fun. You need to work before you earn play, little girl. Okay, so I said, no, thank you, Ancestry. I appreciate all the things you've done to get me to where I am today. I'm really glad that I'm alive. And also, please go lay back down. Sit back down, right? Having fun before work goes against everything my lineage believes. It's very subversive, but it makes sense, right? Like, I thought about this for a minute, and the first thing that popped into my mind was, what if I considered Sunday as the first day of my week? And everything in me just hated that. I was like, no, 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 no. Sunday is the last day of the week. That is the way it is. Sunday is a day for me. It's not a total day of rest, but it's a day where I'm not working my day job, except on rare occasions when there's, something crazy due or whatever. I'm doing some cleaning, I'm doing some cooking, I'm getting some rest in. There's no major schedule. I've earned this day. Yeah, well, I also like earn being alive. And so why can't I earn having fun just right off the bat? What if Sunday is my first day of the week and I go, I had such a nice start to my week. It was so relaxing. I did these things. I recorded this podcast episode. I cleaned up this area of the house so it looks really fresh and nice. And I'm ready to just dive into that work week. So I have not quite convinced my entire system that Sunday is the first day of my week. But it's at least on the table and I'm considering it. I'm like, all right, maybe we'll try seeing Sunday as the first day of the week and that we started our week off with a little bit of fun and play before work. Now, on the slightly smaller scale, I have been dabbling with, and now I'm going to really double down on starting each and every official work day with a little bit of fun. And for me, that looks usually like some fun reading, like either a paper slightly outside of my field or a paper in my field that I think looks interesting. There's a couple books I'm reading that I want to teach in classes in the future, so maybe it's reading a chapter out of that book. For me, starting my workday with emails and or meetings is not fun. It's like instantly being thrown into the stress pool, especially emails, because emails are, obviously that roulette wheel of there might be one good thing out of 20, bad or neutral things. Right. So doubling down on starting my workday with a little bit of fun and not meetings and emails. So let's quickly review. Why do we need to have fun at work? Creativity. And the opposite of fun is I'll be happy when. And you're I'll be happy winning all over the place. Seriously, start to notice it. Start to be like, hey, when am I I'll be happy winning? Like, what am I kind of like holding out on? Like I will feel joy when this thing happens. Oh, yeah. No, I'll be happy now. Maybe you need to slightly revamp your definition of fun, right? What is actually fun to you so that you can start to placebo yourself into having more fun? Kind of circling back on that point, I want to make another point on the placebo affecting yourself into having more fun. And I realize that the grammar conscious people amongst us are probably cringing at me saying placebo affecting yourself into having more fun. But hey, you know what? The English language is here to have a little bit of fun with because the English language is crazy. So why not? That was not the point I was going to make. The point I was going to make was with the placebo effect and having more fun is that my goal is to take literally every single activity that I need to do and start to have a little fun with it. Maybe it's an email that's stressing me out a little bit and I've been kind of leaving it for a little while. Yeah, let's grab that email, let's read it and go, they're asking me kind of a challenging thing and I probably need to do a little bit of research. Hey, I gotta do a little bit of research. Cool. Let's spend 5 minutes and just see what I can find in 5 minutes. I can't spend that much time on this email. It isn't quite as important as maybe, the 30 minutes of research it truly is asking for. So, but I gave it five. That's kind of fun. Maybe there's a really boring project that I need to contribute on, and I am not at all interested in. Hey, is there a little piece of interest I can find? Is there one interesting thing I might be able to learn once I dive in? Or maybe, hell, maybe you're the type of person who you like racing, you like setting goals. Maybe like, okay, I don't love this project, but wouldn't it be super cool if I could write this project report update and do a good job on it in 20 minutes? Let's set a timer and let's go, right? Like find the ways that you have fun within your life, racing, reading, learning new things, and apply that to your specific work task. Placebo affect yourself into having more fun. Believe you're going to have fun, you're going to have more fun. And finally, fun is subversive, and there's probably parts of you that are going, absolutely not. You don't need to have fun at work, you just need to achieve at work. And I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what, parts? Shh, you're fine. Just shush. I am me. I'm not my ancestors. I'm grateful for the things they did to make me alive today. And also, I get to live my life. I get to be happy now. And that's my learn and move your feet, which is we get to be happy now. Let's stop. I'll be happy winning. I'll be happy now. And to do those check ins throughout your workday on whether you're having fun or how you could make what you're doing right now more fun. And to remind yourself, hey, today I'm going to have fun. I'm going to have fun. Isn't that nice? Now, as a quick reminder, this podcast is not affiliated with my research and teaching roles at Colorado State University, but it's a part of my belief that we should be having fun at work and having jobs that we love, right? We do cool and magical things, and our jobs should feel cool and magical. So, if you like this episode, it's great if you share it with a friend, subscribe, leave a review. All of these things help more people find the podcast, and I really appreciate it. The intro and outro music is by XXSass. Oh boy, XSSass. Someday I'll be able to say that cleanly, but today was not that day, and that's okay because you know what? I'm still having fun. XSSass. It's a fun name. It's my musician alter ego. On Instagram, you can follow Stemdenity on Instagram. And if you're listening to this and you're going, hey, you know what? Anna sounds like she has moments of fun, and I too would like to have moments of fun. Let's talk. I offer a free 30-minute work audit call. We can dive into, hey, what's keeping you from having fun at work? Or what are your other top work blockers? And come up with a specific plan for you. And if the vibes are right and you're into it, hey, we can keep working together through one-on-one coaching. Let's make this year your best, most fun year yet. I want to be so in love and excited about my job by the end of this year that when Christmas break rolls around, I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm like, oh man, like I'm looking forward to this break and this is great and I'm gonna do some other things, but gosh, I had such a fun time at my job. Right? Last year I was like, oh, Christmas break, thank you so much. Holiday break, I needed you 2 weeks off. And this year I want to be like, 2 weeks off. What a delight. What a joy. Also, what a great year I had. So links to everything, of course, is in the show notes. And finally, to close out, it wouldn't be an episode about fun if I didn't give you a fun song of the week, right? All right, now my music tastes are all over the place, but one thing I do enjoy is a little bit of good EDM, and good is a very, very objective. Sorry, my brain just forgot the difference between objective and subjective. It's a very personal thing. We're just gonna roll right past that little brain blip, which is appropriate because the song of the week is called "Good Times Roll." It's by Grizz and Big Gigantic. They are two EDM groups that they have so much fun in their music. You just listen to it, and it doesn't matter if you like it or you don't. You're like, this is some fun music. I get it. And frankly, the whole album is fun. It's Good Will Prevail by Grizz is the album. And other songs on that album are great. And if you're feeling that whole fun is subversive and there's a bunch of ancestors yelling at you to stop having fun because you do not deserve to have fun, sit down, little child. I'm going to go ahead and say that if you play PSGFY, which stands for PS Go Fuck You, that is the perfect song for those ancestors who are scolding you for living your life, right? Or those people in your life who's like, you shouldn't have fun, you just need to achieve and be productive. Yeah, PSGFY, bro. Get out of my face. I'm living my life. We are allowed to have a good time on this earth because we get one life as exactly how we are and who we are. One life. Let's have fun. Good times roll. I love you guys so much for listening. Thank you. You're awesome. We'll talk soon. Next week.